Our next guest is the artistic director of CRE Outreach, however it's spelled, a Los Angeles-based organization whose mission is to utilize theater as a means to empower individuals to overcome the challenges in their life. He is at the helm of the programs Theater by the Blind and their current endeavor, a unique production of Stephen Dietz's comedy drama Private Eyes at the Promenade Playhouse in Santa Monica, California. Please welcome once again Greg Shane.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so just let's jump into the pool right off. Theater, you read Theater for the Blind.
Theater by the Blind.
Theater by
the Blind, and that's the biggest distinction. It's not Theater for the Blind, it's Theater by the Blind.
Correct. We're the only entirely blind theater company in the country. And it's absolutely amazing watching this program and the transformations that I've seen over the years. We've been around for about 7 years now. And
how did it start?
It started 7 years ago when I was actually volunteering for a program called Changing Perceptions. And the lady that was running the program at the time passed away suddenly. There was no one left to take over the organization. And I just said, this is way too important, to let sit.
Yeah.
And I saw the potential for them doing shows for big audiences and educating people that their disability doesn't get in their way. And I came to them and I said, you guys ready to start doing original plays? Let's start doing it. And we started our first original show with about 4 people at the Edgemar Theater, and it was great. And we had an audience of about 65 people, and now we have an audience of about 1,000 people. So
unbelievable.
We've really expanded, and I have people that couldn't talk when they first started, and now they're starring and could hold a candle to any actor out there.
Well, I watched a very brief video on your website earlier today, which was showing some of the actors in doing their work, actually. It was about a 3-minute video, and it was very, I was very involved and emotionally, obviously, reacting to the situation. I think it's an amazing idea and something that you should be really praised for by your peers for doing something like that for people like, I can't imagine life, not seeing as we see, and that's exactly the point of what these young people are talking about in this video is. But Greg, life like that.
I'm sorry, Michael, I didn't interrupt you. But Greg, you also mentioned, is it in addition to people who don't have sight, you mentioned about people who were unable to speak. Are there other?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but when you tend to lose your vision, it really affects your speech pattern.
Really?
And because they get bottled up with anger and frustration, that they have a real difficulty forming words and making sentences. And
wow, that's fascinating.
For example, one of our actors was a stutterer when he first came into the program, and he's completely blind, and now you would never even know. Another actor, took him 15 minutes to say a word when he first started, say the word just because he was so, he would sweat and he'd get so angry inside and so frustrated, and now he's speaking fluently. So, these are the transformations that we see. And another thing that a lot of people don't know about blind people is that their biggest fear is not knowing where they are in space. And what the Theater by the Blind provides is it provides a safe place for them to explore space through textured surfaces and sound cues. There's no one pulling them on and off stage.
Oh,
and
wow.
You actually won't even know they're blind when you see the performance. They make salad, they pour wine, they sit down in chairs, they move around the stage completely free of any help and assistance.
Wow. No, because because I'm not knowledgeable about this, and I make no claim to be, that was the first image that came to my mind. Okay, these people are escorted out on stage, and assisted in some way.
It's really something you got to see. When people talk about it, you can't get an idea of the power, the impact that it has on people. But when people come, we had a standing ovation Saturday night, and people are just crying after the show because they're so moved by watching these people. You can see the struggle that they have to get across the stage, but also the freedom that they have to do it.
Right.
So it's
like
really
their world, they're creating their own world and living it right there for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, that's
amazing.
There was when I was in college, we did scene work, and there's the famous play about the is it Butterflies Are Free?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And one of the student in his directing class found a student who was actually in the communications department who was blind,
mm-hmm.
and cast him in the role of that, that role, and it was you were just welling up by the end of it. It was just so beautifully put together.
And you now, do you write its original plays other than things like this?
Up to this show, every show we've done have been all original plays, and they come up with all the characters. They come up with where the location is for the story, and we basically do improvisation scenes for them to create the script. And then they feel very like they have great ownership over their character. But what I wanted to do with this particular show is I wanted to really challenge them because there's no room for error. In our original plays, they can kind of get by with improving a line or two, but Stephen Dietz is such a brilliant playwright, and the way he articulates his words that you have to hit it every single time.
Right.
So that's why this has been a great challenge, and the production I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of them. They've done an amazing job.
And we should probably do a little shout out, Greg, for your actors, huh? Can you? It's Arnett Coates.
Arnett Coates. Ernest Pipoli is spectacular. Maria Perez, Sheila Walker, Bert Gross, Leela Casaroni, Tori Tate.
Yes.
And Cookie is also.
I love that.
Yeah.
She just goes by Cookie. It kind of makes it like Cher.
She does just go by Cookie.
Right? Yeah. Did you mention Sheila Walker? I was sorry. Did you mention
Sheila Walker? Yeah.
Sheila Walker. Yeah.
And Melanie Hernandez.
And Melanie Hernandez. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the cast. I also want to give a shout out to the people that helped form the nonprofit organization. My partner is Brian Caldwell, who's one of my best friends. We started the organization, and Colin Simpson. We're kind of a triangle, the three-guy triangle. And, our nonprofit works with ages 8 all the way up to 95 for visually impaired, and we also work with at-risk youth. And the at-risk youth, they write original plays based on their own life story.
Oh, wow.
So there's kind of two facets to our organization. And Theater by the Blind, CRE Outreach is the parent company to Theater by the Blind.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of things we're doing, and, we just try to transform lives one show at a time.
Well, while we're thanking people, let's also thank Edgemar for
I would absolutely like to thank Michelle.
Sounds like that was
she was the springboard for everything and so generous, and you should definitely come see her show. The performances at Edgemar are some of the best in Los Angeles, so you should definitely come see Ghosts. And I mean,
come see the show.
Yeah, well, let's also, Michael, would you give the stats on how we can let people know to see Greg's show?
Absolutely. Well, first, before I do that, Paul, I just want to say Private Eyes is about a pair of married actors, right?
They are, yes.
Whose relationship is tested when the wife becomes involved in an affair with their play's director. So it's actually a play within a play.
There's a lot of twists and turns.
But that's so far-fetched. When has that ever happened?
Yeah, but this one's a play within a therapist office.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's the twist on that one.
There you go. So you can see this on stage at the Promenade Theater in Santa Monica, and that's on, of course, Promenade, 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. And the Promenade Playhouse, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m., Sundays at 3 p.m. The previews have just begun and it's just opened actually, and it runs through April 8th. Modestly priced, I might add, $20 a ticket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a definite must go.
Yeah.
And you can get tickets by calling 310-902-8220 or go to their website at CREOutreach.org.
And we should say that even though it sounds CRE, it's actually spelled CREOutreach.org.
That's right.
Yeah, which is what was throwing me earlier.
I know it was.
I had to throw you, a little bone here.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I need more than a bone these days. I need to be thrown more than that.
Now, you do other things aside from this, or is this your full-time job? Or
this is my full-time job. Yeah.
So you don't get a chance to go out and direct other theater or be an actor, as I know you're an actor as well. Right?
I did some acting with Michelle back in the day, but I love what I do. I feel blessed every morning to wake up and go and work with the populations I work with. Before this, I got my master's at NYU in educational theater, and I actually directed Macbeth with life sensors in Dublin. And that was really an incredible experience. I've worked with homeless people, people with psychological challenges, almost every kind of population. And, working with the blind, for me, as a personal, I'm blind in my right eye. So growing up, for the first 4 years of my life, I had to wear a patch over my good eye, which basically made it so I couldn't see. So I was basically blind for the first 4 years of my life. I had a shadow at school and stuff like that. So, for me, I was told I couldn't do all these things. And that's, I think, the same attitude that people have expressed to these amazing individuals that I work with. and they can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's really where my heart's at, and I feel blessed to be part of this organization.
Well,
I think
amazing work. Yeah.
I think that not only can they do anything, but they have in my experience, a fire and a sense of purpose that is fueled by the thing that is termed a disability by other people, and that sort of really charges people with passion and goal.
Absolutely.
And I would imagine that's really a fantastic thing to witness.
Yeah.
well, and you just said something key there too, Paul. I concur with what you said, and it's like a longtime client of mine, Scott Hamilton, the Olympic champion figure skater, when he was diagnosed with testicular cancer, and we were announcing that unfortunate time in his life, I said to him, he was so overcome with the situation, but at the same time very, very hopeful, and he said to me at the end of the conversation, he said, the only disability in life is a bad attitude.
Mm-hmm. That's a great line.
And it's true when you stop and think about it, especially with people whose sight has been not given to them or taken away. And if they looked at it any other way, it would be all about a bad attitude. But they're finding a place, as you said, living in a world through touch and everything else that you are providing for them. And what at least I saw in the video this morning, which was pretty, in just 3 minutes, you get the idea of what you're doing, what it's all about. It's pretty spectacular.
Thank you.
That you can give life back to people like that. And I have a question for you to kind of go off of that. As actors, these people in the show, are they like any other actor in the sense that they will play around, maybe they improv a little bit, maybe they'll go up on a line, maybe they'll give another actor a bad time. I mean,
try to make someone laugh.
Just do
there's so much comedy in this show that people will be rolling in the seats. It is so fun, and I think teaching comedic timing is one of the hardest things. I don't know if Michelle will feel the same way about it, but they for not being able to see each other, they have such an amazing sense of comedic timing.
Wow.
And they really get it. And it's funny sometimes, and especially in this show, I'm baffled watching it because I don't understand how they're doing what they're doing, even though I've directed it. I'm absolutely amazed by it. It's so inspirational. It's so incredible what they do.
So I have a question. Do you feel like because they're blind that more of the other sensories are enhanced because of it?
Yeah, I do think there's definitely an understanding of the other person, and I think they're so in tune to listening. I think being a great actor is all about listening. And I think that's an ability that they have. That's how they learn their lines. Right. I read the lines on an audio recorded tape, and they listen to their tapes.
Wow.
It's not like they can look at a script and learn their lines. Yeah. Some of them put it into Braille. But I think that's so challenging. From my acting experience, I had to look at the script and see the lines to know what they were they were saying. Yeah. So, there's an amazing video on the website at CREOutreach.org, which was by the LA Times, and I really recommend you take a look at it because it gives a really good feel of what the organization is all about, and it has interviews with the actors and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll put that CREOutreach.org, definitely.